Good afternoon, everybody. Shavua Tov, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Rolene Marks with a lot to say today as we dive into the top stories making headlines in Israel. And on Thursday, at the time of going to air, we were discussing the fact that the government of Israel had in fact confirmed that Democratic Congresswoman Tlaib and Omar and Tlaib were barred from entering Israel on their trip to Palestine last week. And as you can imagine, this has caused all kinds of controversy, a lot of toing and froing on social media, a lot of statements coming out from a lot of people. But let's catch up on what the latest is. So over the weekend, Democratic Congresswoman Tlaib wrote to Israel's Interior Minister Aryeh Deri and requested to see her 90-year-old grandmother on condition that she wouldn't spread or propagandize any BDS. And the Interior Minister agreed on humanitarian terms, and she turned that down. She turned that down, citing that she was oppressed and that it was a part of her would die if she went to see her grandmother. Now, it raises a lot of very, very interesting issues. First of all, if this is your last opportunity to see your 90-year-old grandmother, also known as her Palestinian city, why would you turn that down? Also considering that she hasn't seen her grandmother since 2006, nor invited her to visit her in the United States while she has been in office. Could this be that Congresswoman Tlaib rather prefers to be in a position to advocate for BDS and spread BDS type of propaganda rather than see her family? Well, as you can imagine, this went wild on social media, with the Mossad parody site saying that perhaps there would be peace when Tlaib loves her grandmother more than she hates Israelis. That was just one tweet, and of course a lot of toing and froing, a lot of people getting involved in the discussion. Some people include Cynthia Nixon from Sex and the City fame, Geraldo Rivera, Gloria Steinman, all castigating Prime Minister Netanyahu for the decision to bar these two. But why were they barred? First of all, we took a look at the itinerary that they had planned, and it did not include visiting or speaking to any Israeli officials. Rather, their trip was to Palestine. Now, seeing that no state of Palestine exists at the moment, one has to question why they did not join in the delegation, the Democratic congressional delegation that visited the country just a few weeks ago and heard from both sides of the conflict. And also, rumor has it that Tlaib turned down the opportunity to meet with Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas as well, preferring rather instead to focus on NGOs and organizations like UNRWA. UNRWA is under investigation at the moment for the head of the organization coming up for numerous charges, including that of sexual misconduct and nepotism, as well as discrimination. And I would like to know a little bit more about that. So a lot of fallout. It must be noted that American Jewish organizations did condemn the barring of these two congresswomen, but understood the reasons why Israel chose to bar them from entering. Incidentally, this is not the first time a sovereign state has barred the entry of lawmakers from other countries. Geert Wilders from the Netherlands was banned from the UK, and the United States banned a far-right Israeli lawmaker from entering. So sovereign states are well within their rights to ban anyone they may deem harmful to them from entering. One has to ask, why is the double standard in place with regards to Israel? And Netanyahu, in a statement today from the Ukraine where he is visiting, said that Israel enjoys a great relationship with Congress. We stand by our relationship with Congress, but we will not tolerate BDS. And that's not the only big headlines making news today. Also, over the weekend, a lot of heat in the south of Israel, another foiled infiltration by terrorists from Gaza to come into Israel and ignite skirmish there. They were neutralized by the IDF troops, who managed to stop them from entering with their various weapons. Also, both on Friday night and Saturday night, Iron Dome interceptors intercepted rockets and mortars fired from the Gaza Strip into the south of Israel, and the Israeli Air Force striking Hamas targets within the Gaza Strip in retaliation to that. And now turning to our northern borders, it is becoming apparent that Hezbollah are now applying the same kind of arson terror that we have seen in the south. Just yesterday, Hezbollah operatives were seen or caught on camera setting brush fires very close to the border with Israel, taking advantage of high winds, those brush fires coming across the boundary into Israel and creeping very close to the town of Margaliyot, which had to be evacuated, as well as an IDF base. And it just must be noted that UN peacekeeping forces at the border did see this happening. They were patrolling at the time and did not do anything to stop the setting of brush fires. So those are today's top stories. If you want to read more content online, you can visit us at www.layoftheland.online. That's www.layoftheland.online. There is a great article by Alex Rifkin from Australia on the proposed visit by Tlaib and Omar and the subsequent barring of them. It's a superb article. I really recommend that you go online and read it. And if you miss it there, don't worry, you can catch it on our Facebook page first thing tomorrow morning. And while you're there, like us, follow us, invite your friends to like us and follow us. We're a growing family and we want you to be a part of it. And if you want to view these kind of videos, the Israel Brief, every day via YouTube, simply look for our YouTube channel, the Israel Brief, and click on the subscribe button. I'm Rolene Marks. It's been a very heated day here in Israel with the Israel Brief. We'll chat again tomorrow.